Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving deep into a really cool experiment. It's one that puts our gut feelings and our favorite brands up against the cold, hard data. And we're doing it in a sport where equipment matters a ton: golf. I mean, that's a pretty bold statement, right? But if we're being honest, it's true for most of us. In golf, it's what they call the placebo effect. You just believe a certain ball is better, and that belief alone can trick your brain into thinking it feels better and performs better, even if the numbers say something totally different. So, to really put this idea to the test, two hosts, Trevor and Tate, came up with this awesome blind experiment. They took 5 of the absolute top-tier golf balls for 2025. We're talking new stuff from giants like Titleist and Srixon, and they totally hid their identities. All the logos, all the names, gone. All that was left were colored dots. This way, every single swing was judged on pure performance, not on a fancy logo or a big marketing budget. Okay, so as soon as they started hitting balls, the main problem became super clear, like right away. What the golfers felt in their hands just wasn't matching up with what the high-tech launch monitor was telling them. Early on, they're just hitting some short shots with a wedge, and one of the hosts, Tate, he almost immediately locked in on the brown ball. He kept saying how good it felt, responsive and really soft coming off the club. And right here, this is our first big wait a minute moment. See, for a golf ball to feel soft, it usually has to spin a lot. That's just how it works. But the data? The launch monitor showed that for Tate, the brown ball was actually the lowest spinning ball of the entire group. So his feeling of soft was in a direct fight with the actual hard numbers. And this whole thing, this weird disconnect between what a skilled golfer is feeling and what a precise machine is measuring, well, it only got more intense as they moved up from the short shots to the really important mid-irons. So with the irons in hand, a new favorite starts to emerge. Both guys started really liking the green ball. They were praising how it felt, how it flew through the air, and how it was still pretty good even when they didn't hit it perfectly. In their minds, green was becoming the clear winner. But then you look at the data, and this is just wild. Tate is over there saying the green ball is his #1 favorite, right? But the numbers showed it was only his second best performer. And the best performer, the undisputed champ, according to the data? The brown ball, the one he didn't even mention. His gut was telling him one thing, but his own results were telling him something else entirely. And this trend just keeps on going when they pull out the driver, which for most of us is the most important club in the bag. And once again, the data doesn't lie. For Tate, the brown ball was the hands-down winner. It gave him that perfect mix of numbers for getting the most distance and control. The evidence was just piling up. So now we get to the moment of truth. Before they know which ball is which, the hosts have to make a final call. Are they going to trust their feelings, or are they going to trust the data staring them in the face? So even though the launch monitor was practically screaming that the brown ball was the better choice for Tate with club after club, when it came time to pick a winner based on their overall gut feeling, both hosts locked in the exact same answer: green. Okay, so their picks are in. It's finally time to peel back the tape and see what brands were behind the colors. And the results? Well, they were a pretty huge shock, especially for one of the testers. Now, before we get to the final reveal, you have to know this, and this is super important. Tate isn't just some guy guessing. He actually guessed the right brand for 4 out of the 5 hidden balls. So the guy knows his stuff, he has a great feel for these products, which makes what happens next even more incredible. So that green ball they both loved and picked as the winner, it was the Srixon Z-Star, which turns out to be Tate's usual gamer ball. No surprise there. He also nailed the Titleist and the TaylorMade. His brand radar was spot on. Think about that. His feel was good enough to identify the brand, but it wasn't good enough to identify his best performing ball, which of course left just one giant, glaring question. What was the brown ball? The one that the data proved over and over again was objectively the best ball for him, the one he completely ignored when he made his final choice? And there it is. The data-proven winner for him was the Callaway Chrome Tour X. Now, this is a massive deal because, as the hosts explained, Tate has a very well-known, long-standing bias against the Callaway brand. And his reaction when he found out says absolutely everything you need to know. I don't want brown to be Callaway. The ball that the data proved could actually make him a better golfer was made by the one company he doesn't like. His bias was so powerful, it literally stopped him from picking his best option.
So, what do we take away from all this? I mean, this is about way more than just golf balls. This is a huge lesson in how our own brains can get in the way when we're trying to make a choice about, well, anything.
This whole experiment is just the perfect example of brand bias in the real world. Tate's brain was so sure he didn't like Callaway that it actually made him prefer a ball that he was already used to, even though it wasn't performing as well for him. His own ideas literally blinded him to a better result.
And really, that leaves all of us with a pretty tough question to chew on. It doesn't matter if we're talking about golf balls or the kind of smartphone you buy, or even your favorite brand of coffee. When you are faced with undeniable proof that a bias you hold is actually holding you back from something better, do you stick with what's comfortable and familiar? Or do you have the courage to change your mind?